during the election arc, and he comes off as an adversarial member of the Hunter organization. But at the same time, he is revered by so many under that umbrella. He is the odds-on favorite to be the next leader of the Hunter organization after Isaac Netero dies. And he always seems to be 1, 2, 10 steps ahead of everybody else within a 10-mile radius of him. He's the kind of guy that plays devil's advocate for positions the devil would never defend. And then he would follow it up with, I'm just asking questions. When there's not a presence to truly challenge Periston, the smile never fades from his face. It's manufactured, it's fake, it's not real. There's always something going on behind his eyes. There's always an ulterior motive. He's never speaking the truth. Now, the one thing Periston could never overcome in the election arc was an actual admiration by his peers. He was about to lose to Leorio till Leorio left because Gon was fine. And then all the fun from the game was gone. So he didn't want to play anymore. There's an old people movie quote that I've learned about in a play that I'm in. George Burns says, and God said, let there be Satan, so people don't blame everything on me. And let there be lawyers, so people don't blame everything on Satan. That's how I see Periston. He's not evil per se. He's just Periston. There's always a game going on. Doesn't mean everybody's going to be harmed by it. Some people might actually benefit from it. But he's never got anybody else's good intentions in mind other than his own. Now, granted, I know that kind of flies in the face of the whole 5,000 Chimera Ant eggs, but we're getting there. He is the kind of guy who gets everything he wants, and you hate him for it. Well, he gets everything he wants, Jake shows. At this point in the story, we've spent very little time with Jake. We got with Gon a little bit, but this is the first time that we actually spent chapters with him. Jing has shown up basically to buy his way onto Beyond Netero's group to go to the Dark Continent. I've covered this in a previous video, but he basically pays an insane amount of money, joins organizations where he has to take orders, and all he really wants is to be number 2 in name alone. He does not need any actual leadership. Granted, Periston kind of forces the leadership part on him. This is the first time in the story, during his interactions with Jing in this group, when we actually get to see the inner workings of Periston. Seeing internal monologues and reading them along the character is something that Togashi does for basically everybody. We even get it for Merowyn during the Chimera Ant arc. But we didn't get any for Periston during the election arc, other than a few times when he's standing on stage and feels the presence moving against him. But now we get to see, I want to see what I want to do to someone I hate. Earlier in the chapter, Periston says that he's basically indifferent to everybody else. It's all a game to him. But Jing is trying to get the better of him. The tension between these two is unmatched by any other relationship we have in Hunter x Hunter. Jing literally says, I'll play with you personally from now on until you beg me to stop. And Periston says, so you're finally going to pay attention to me. And even Jing says, I might just be doing it for my own fun. These two need to get a room. During this interaction, we get a window into Periston. Now, this feels a bit like a favor from Togashi, because this is a character who's very adversarial in a previous arc. And we get this little speech interaction. Jing has said that they think kind of alike. They're always kind of playing a game. And then, he's also trying to say they're not alike. And he says, that's why I think what I think, scumbag. Periston looks up. And he says, what a way to put it. But you're right, so whatever. People normally feel happiness when they love and are loved in return. I feel happiness when people hate me, and I feel compelled to hurt the things that are dear to me. The only emotion that he has when he loves something is that feeling you get when you see a kitten. You just want to squeeze it so tight. You know you shouldn't. Periston's going to do it anyway. You think he's twisted in the election arc. He is an absolutely insane person during this short window we get with him during the Succession War arc. And we get Togashi's patented really crazy face when you see the real emotions and the real inner workings of a character. He also hires some goons to come in and basically say, pick one of the two of you, one of you is going to die and the other one can stay. And they get to do this little song and dance where Jing and Periston pretend like they're going to have to fight these guys. But all he's really trying to do is goad out Jing's actual technique. But Jing says to him, if you want to see what my technique is, you better do it yourself next time. Because he beats the dog shit out of the 3 guys that show up. And that's pretty much the end of what we get for Pariston going into the Succession War arc. We don't know if he's on the Black Whale. We don't know if he's on a separate ship. We know that he's going to the Dark Continent. We just don't know how he's getting there or how he factors into the fact that Beyond Netero is stuck on the Black Whale, basically in jail. Oh yeah, he also has 5,000 Chimera ant eggs that he's holding on to because he thinks it'd be fun to release them. That's all we get about that. Oh, hell yeah, we can talk about Pariston. Have you ever met someone that oozes charisma but never seems to remember your name? You've introduced yourself 10 times, but they always ask who you are. You can't prove it, but it really feels like they get some sick pleasure out of minimizing your existence.
One of the worst phenomenons ever of all time is when someone who's convinced that they're ugly finally realizes that they're attractive. Like, they become the most insufferable people ever. Why is that? Why that is? One of the worst phenomenons ever of all time is when someone who's
You know what, but for a nigga who don't rap, you did do a little something with this shit, bro.
Wow. I mean, I can't stop cheesing. I never thought there would be a day where there will be positivity towards me. Thanks, Rick, for allowing me to essentially use your music me. I'm almost a little bit discombobulated. I'm used to everybody always being negative towards me. Here's one thing that toodles my thorn a little bit. It said because I used some of your music me that you were going to give me a lawsuit. We can come to a negotiation here. I heard that you only have 12 dreads. I have some leftover near me. Brown ones. I have dread from the Nine Tails dread era. I can lend you some real hair me if you're not.
Well, here's the thing. You can have this, or you can have this. And this is what you can do. Right? Well, here's the thing. You can have this, or you can have this. And this is what you can achieve with Photoshop on iPhone. I'm partnering with Adobe to show you how we can get from this to this. All at the tip of your right.
This performance 1 out of 10. What are we thinking? You got a tattoo, bro. I'm overly tatted. Overly.
As soon as COVID happened and barbershops wasn't open, I was texting barbers, yo, I need a haircut. Niggas wasn't responding. The first thing I did was go on YouTube. I went on 360, 360, 360, GZ. And I fuck with 360 GZ, but that nigga's hairline is butt cheeks, my nigga. And his early cuts was fucked up. I ain't gonna hold you. 360 GZ was fucking niggas up in the barbershop. His first couple of cuts when niggas he was in the barbershop, he was fucking niggas' hair. All niggas was legal for pushbacks. My barber just making it like when they say this is a professional pushback. Nigga, professional? What the fuck you mean a professional?